Oh, sorry, I was texting my friend. I text people all the time, and most of the time I use emojis to express myself because, frankly, I think there is no better way to express yourself than emojis, except maybe via the medium of Emoji Cupcakes. And I'm just about to make some of my favourite ones, so why don't you stick around and I'll show you how it's done. So I've already made 3 of my favourites here. The little smiley guy, the crying with laughter, and the kind of guy. Right, I'm going to start by showing you how to make the bases for your emoji cupcakes. So obviously you're going to need some cupcakes. I've got vanilla cupcakes here, and if you want to learn my recipe for vanilla cupcakes, then click on the link now. Next, you're going to need some vanilla buttercream, and again, there's a link to that. Click on that if you want to learn how to make it. I've also got some yellow sugar paste. I've got a non-stick board and a non-stick rolling pin, a circle cutter, which is bigger than my cupcake, and a little palette knife. So I've got my vanilla buttercream, and I'm going to use this to basically stick the sugar paste on, so a little bit like glue. You don't need very much. I'm just going to take my palette knife and pop a little bit on, just about that much is fine. And I'm going to spread it all over my cupcake, but not all the way to the edge. I want to have about at least ½ centimetre from the edge, because I don't want it to ooze out of the sides. So you can see I've spread it all over, but not quite to the edge. So I've got at least ½ centimetre, and it's all kind of mounded in the middle, and that's going to be the base for my sugar paste. I'm going to carry on doing that for another couple of cupcakes. So now that I've got my glue buttercream on my cupcakes, I just need to roll my sugar paste out. Now, my sugar paste is all sitting underneath little pots because I don't want it to dry out. If it dries out, it goes all crusty and crispy and it's really gross. So knead your sugar paste for a little bit just to make sure it's all nice and smooth and malleable. Right, once it's all kneaded and smooth, you're going to need to roll it out using your non-stick rolling pin, and I'm going to roll mine out to about 4 or 5 millimeters thick, and try and get it as even as possible. So it's now about 4 millimeters thick, and I'm going to grab my circle cutter and chomp out some circles so that I can cover my cupcakes. Just remove the excess, and you can re-roll that in a minute, but keep it under your little pot so it doesn't dry out. And then using your palette knife, just ease it up really gently so that you can lift it. And then gently lay it right in the middle of your cupcake so that it just falls down the sides like that. So now you need to do a little bit of work, but you're going to need to use the soft, squishy part of your hand here, this blobby bit, and really gently smooth it down and just guide it into place. You don't want to use the tips of your fingers because they're all a bit pointy and a bit too much action going on with fingernails and fingerprints and stuff. This bit's really squishy and paddy, so it's perfect. So just gently push it into place until the whole cupcake's covered. Right, that's one nice flat emoji face, but without any features on. I'm just going to carry on until I've finished all my cupcakes. Right, so now I've got my emoji bases, I need to give them faces. And the next one I'm going to do is the one where he's blowing a little kiss. So I have some more sugar paste here in blue, red, white and brown. If you've noticed, emoji faces, all their features are a dark brown rather than black. So starting with the dark brown, grab one of your emoji face bases, and we're going to start by making the eyes. And this one is kind of winking at the same time as kissing. It's quite difficult to do actually. I can't really wink. So I'm going to do his first eye, which is the open one, and that requires a tiny, tiny little ball, smaller than a pea. And I'm just going to make him a kind of egg shape. So I'm going to roll him between my thumb and forefinger until he's a bit like a sausage. And then on my board, I'm going to squash him. So to stick that eye onto my emoji face, I've got a little paintbrush here and I'm going to just pop a tiny amount of water on that. You really don't need much because you don't want it to kind of dribble all over the sides. Just enough to form a light film of moisture, and that is going to act like glue. And then imagine your halfway line and put it just over the halfway line on the left-hand side. So then grab yourself another ball, slightly tiny bit larger than the last ball, and roll it between your thumb and forefingers, and then you want to roll it into a kind of sausage shape. And then he needs to be bent slightly in the middle to form a kind of boomerang shape, and that's going to be the winky eye. So again, just grab a tiny bit of water on your paintbrush, dab a bit on the back. So he's got eyes, but he needs some expression, so I'm going to give him some eyebrows. So grab another very small ball, and this one you need to make into a really long sausage, well, about 1 inch long. And these are going to be his eyebrows. So just roll it between your fingers until you get a little snake shape. And then I'm just going to cut that in half. And then pick them up, and just those cut ends, just make them a little bit more neat and tidy. And then we're going to stick them on using the water at a kind of jaunty angle. So this one's raised up high, and this one is a little bit lower. So for the mouth, which is going, I've got a slightly larger ball, this is like an actual pea, and I'm going to roll that into a long, thin sausage. And then using a toothpick to kind of poke in, I'm going to fold him in half to form a V. And then on one half, go back the other way. And then repeat that on the other side. So you end up with a kind of W shape. And then give that all a little squeeze to tighten up and make a bit neater. And there it is, a little kissy mouth. So just stick that on again. Pick it up really gently. Stick it on. In the middle at the bottom. So he's almost there, I just need to give him his little kissy heart. So I've got my red sugar paste here. I'm gonna just lop off a kind of hazelnut sized amount. Roll it into a ball. Pinch it at the bottom and pop it down onto your worktop. Keep it pinched, and then get something like a knife or a palette knife, and while you're pinching, just push that into the top, and it becomes a little heart, look. And then we're going to stick that on just the same way with a bit of water. So there he is, a little kissing emoji. And you can use those techniques to make almost all of the faces actually. So I'm just going to make a few more. Why don't you stick around and watch me? So there you go, my really simple emoji cupcakes. I hope that you them and that it didn't make you feel too... And hopefully with all your new skills that you've learned, you won't get into a If you like this video and you want to see more videos by me, then don't forget to subscribe to my channel by clicking on the link up there, and hopefully that should make you really... See you next week.